Good evening, this is News Mongolia. I'm Satlon Korts in the MNB World studio. For our top stories, COVID-19, 630 new confirmed cases, 5 additional deaths. Tourism industry losses reached 1.5 trillion Mongolian tugruks in 2020. 2021 presidential election campaigning officially starts on Monday. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health reported 630 new COVID-19 cases. 410 more people have recovered and 5 fatalities were reported on Monday. The total number of cases has reached 53,100 nationwide.
On Monday, the ministry reported 630 new cases of COVID-19 from almost 6,000 people that were tested nationwide. 410 patients have recovered. In the last 2 weeks, the number of recovered people surpassed the number of new infections until today. Unfortunately, 5 more people between the ages of 56 to 88 died due to COVID-19 complications within the past 24 hours. All of today's new cases are domestic transmissions. 581 cases were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar city and 49 in the provinces. Among the 4,243 COVID-19 patients being treated at over 50 hospitals nationwide, 52.1% are showing mild symptoms of illness and 122 people are in critical condition. Additionally, 1,263 patients are being treated at home. Of the 775,000 people who were vaccinated with the second dose, 0.44% were infected. These cases also occurred within 14 days of the second shot.
Mongolia's hospitality and tourism sector were hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic and border lockdown in 2020. This year, tourist camps and tour operators might get an opportunity to resume operations. According to industry experts, the Mongolian tourism sector suffered a 1.5 trillion Mongolian tugruks loss in 2020.
Industry experts expect domestic travel to resume in June. Last year, demand for domestic tours was much higher than in previous years. However, most companies were not well prepared for the uptick in domestic tourists, and preparations for operating during the pandemic were poor. Keeping past mistakes in mind, this year private entities and the Ministry of Environment and Tourism have completed preparations and are ready to host new visitors.
The tourism sector is one of the sectors that can quickly recover after the pandemic. Based on research and studies, we think that Mongolia has all the potential to develop diversified tourism and border area tourism.
Data from 2020 shows that domestic travelers could become a serious client base for tour companies. Companies oriented toward the market for foreign tourists need to change their packages and services to meet the demands of a new target client. In addition, tour operators now are required to pay special attention to safety and disinfection, including having a sufficient supply of hand sanitizers and disinfectants.
For example, what can domestic tourists do when they travel? They can go camping or have a barbecue in the nature. Therefore, we have designed standards and set 23 locations where people can go camping.
The tourism sector was on standby for as long as 17 months. According to industry statistics, 2,300 private entities operating in the tourism sector couldn't provide wages to their combined 88,000 workers, making up 97% of the industry's workforce. In 2019, the sector earned 1.6 trillion Mongolian tugruks in revenue and turnover was equal to 7.2% of GDP. However, in 2020, industry income dropped by 70% and tour operator sales decreased by 97%.
There are 220 million people working in the tourism and hospitality sectors who lost their jobs due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The situation isn't better in Mongolia. Of course, the immunization rate will play an important role in the sector's recovery. In addition, companies will need to do some rebranding and learn new trends like the creative industry.
Last year, more than 40,000 people visited Huskut province, a number that is not expected to drop this year. Provinces like Khinti, Tornqov, Ovs, and Arkhanga are also likely to attract large numbers of domestic tourists this year.
Thank you for staying with us on MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
Campaigning for the 2021 presidential election officially starts today, May 24th. The General Election Commission has officially registered Mongolian People's Party candidate Khurelsukh, Democratic Party candidate Irden, and Right-Man Electoral Coalition candidate Inkhpat, and has issued the candidates' mandates. According to the law on presidential elections, a candidate's campaign can officially begin when a candidate receives their mandate. Campaigning is required to end 24 hours prior to election day. This year's campaign period is very short compared to the previous election campaigns. The three candidates will meet with voters in 21 provinces, 330 sums, and the 9 districts of Ulaanbaatar to present their campaign platforms. As the campaign period is relatively short, candidates will need to visit 2 to 3 provinces a day. The Deputy Prime Minister of Mongolia, Amir Sakhan, met with representatives from organizations working on development of the Zamiot Free Trade Zone. He said it was time to focus on developing the free zone, which has been talked about for many years, and offered political and legal support. Zamiot Free Zone covers an area of 900 hectares. According to the master plan for the new free trade zone, 59 investors have been selected to lease 101 hectares, with 7 hectares designated for tourism, 47 hectares for production, 20 for trade and services, 25 for warehousing and logistics, and 1.4 hectares for gas stations. According to the Deputy Prime Minister, the 5-year project is expected to diversify the economy and increase exports and employment.
Travel between the provinces, except Umungao and Darngao provinces, reopened last Saturday, May 22nd. Restrictions will continue for Umungao and Darngao from May 22nd to June 15th. However, workers in particular sectors, including mining, road construction, and infrastructure, as well as government officials traveling on official business, will be allowed to travel to these provinces with permission from National Emergency Commission. In addition, people traveling for healthcare services, funerals, or returning to their place of residence, as well as drivers transporting food, fuel, fodder, medicine, and medical supplies, will be allowed to travel to above-mentioned 2 provinces with permission from the National Emergency Commission. For all other parts of the country, people who are fully vaccinated will be allowed to travel 14 days after receiving their second dose of COVID-19 vaccines. Travelers will be required to show their vaccination certificates available from the e-Mongolia platform at traffic checkpoints. Here comes the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Mongolian-born sumo wrestler Tiruna Fuji Gairten won the Summer Grand Sumo Tournament on Sunday. It's his 4th Emperor's Cup of his career and 2nd one in a row.
Tiruna Fuji beat fellow Ozeki Takakeishu in a playoff to clinch the Summer Grand Sumo Tournament on Sunday, capping his epic return to the sport's 2nd highest rank this month by capturing the 4th Emperor's Cup of his career. Tiruna Fuji lost his 1 lead after swiftly getting thrust down by Takakeishu in the day's final schedule bout, forcing a championship playoff at the Tokyo's Ryokugu Kokugigan. But the 29-year-old Mongolian showed his mettle to claim the decider for his first title as an Ozeki. The latest championship means Tiruna Fuji will enter the July meet with a chance for promotion to the sport's highest rank of Yokozuna. Tiruna Fuji won his first title in May 2015 and also secured his first promotion to Ozeki after that meet, but injuries to both knees and illness plagued him since. He dropped from Ozeki after September 2017 and went spiraling down further as low as the sport's 2nd lowest division of Jonidan in March 2019. Tiruna Fuji bounced back in a fairy tale manner, However, stunning the sumo world last July when he first his second career title upon his return to the elite Makuuchi division before winning his third this March that secured his re-promotion to Ozaki. His first loss this month came on the 11th day when he was ruled to have fouled number 4 Miyogiri, with ringside judges claiming that the Ozaki grabbed the hair, a move banned in the Asian sport while executing a throw against the Mikeshira. He's also the first wrestler to win the 2 titles in a row since Yokozuna Grand Champion Kakuryu, who won the spring and summer tournaments in 2018. Responding to government guidance due to the coronavirus state of emergency in Tokyo, the Japan Sumo Association started the ongoing tournament behind closed doors but was allowed to admit up to 5,000 fans from the 4th day.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for the world's major cities. This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.